And so I decided to put all of my information and all of my education to good use to help people care for their aging pets in a way gracefully through education and to really understand how to give them the best quality of life as they age.
Welcome to Zestful Aging, where I interview inspiring and influential guests who are making their mark on the world and contributing to the common good. Contributing to the common good in even the smallest of ways is one of the scientifically proven ways we can age with vitality and deep contentment. I'm your host, Nicole Christina, psychotherapist and fellow Zestful Ager. My goal is to share optimism about aging and introduce you to guests who will excite and inspire you to share your own gifts and talents with the world. And to find out more about the podcast, my web courses, and my book, Not Just Chatting, How to Become a Master Podcast Interviewer, which I found out was on the finalist list on the 2021 Best Book Awards, hop on over to zestfulaging.com. And while you're there, sign up for my monthly email newsletter, The Insider, where you will get behind-the-scenes looks at my interviews and other fun tidbits, including what's new at my Etsy shop, Zestful Design. Our music is courtesy of Judy Banker. Find out more at judybanker.com. Ever wonder what the host of Zestful Aging does when she's not podcasting? Creating one-of-a-kind earrings, of course. I've just opened an Etsy shop called Zestful Design. No S. And it showcases my fun, comfortable, and zesty polymer earrings. These earrings are fun to make and fun to wear. So check out my new shop, Zestful Design, on Etsy. Well, I'm really excited about our interview today. I was wondering if the Facebook algorithm really has my number, or are there a lot of people saying goodbye to their beloved pets recently? I am seeing so many posts of people losing their pets. My own beloved dog Sparky is 16 and a half and has recently been diagnosed with cancer. So I'm keeping a watchful eye on him, and I'm trying to assess if he still has a good quality of life. And so far, so good. Today's guest is going to help us understand our older pets and how we can make their lives better right up until the end. Megan Weaver is a senior pet expert focusing on improving the quality of life of our older dogs and cats. After running her own canine rehabilitation department, Megan understands the struggles that older animals face and has created solutions and strategies to help pet owners care for their pets through their senior journey. And Megan's committed to educating pet owners about how to combine their vet's expertise and diagnoses with easily implementable tools at home through guides and how-to courses. Welcome to the show, Megan.
Hello there. Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Oh, I'm really excited to speak with you. I don't know if it's that, people know that I'm in the aging field or my friends are the same age as me, but boy, I am just hearing so much about senior dogs in particular since I'm a big dog fan. And I'm just wondering how you first got into this specialty.
Yeah, great question. When I was 22, I was fresh out of college and working at a vet, and I ended up adopting this senior dog named Jack, and I realized, I thought he was super old when I first met him, and he ended up living 7 more years. So what I learned throughout kind of that journey, that segment journey, was I wasn't in the puppy stage. I was in the older dog stage already. I learned that moving around for them was a lot harder. I found myself worrying a lot more about, is he in pain? I found myself confused about all the issues that he was having and all the products that are out there to help him. And all this while I was a veterinary technician, and I was going through my rehab canine license. So I didn't know what to do. And as a licensed veterinary technician, I wanted to do more, obviously. So I found at our vet hospital, we would talk a little bit to the owners about what they could do and how they could care for their senior pets, but there was never enough time. So, yeah. So after I decided I had a rehab department for 5 years and then decided to stay home with my little girls because they're only young ones. And so I decided to put all of my information and all of my education to good use to help people care for their aging pets in a way gracefully through education and to really understand how to give them the best quality of life as they age.
I see. What are some of the issues of aging pets? What might we notice? What are some of the first things that we say, oh, that's not what they used to do?
Right. So, especially since my education is more in the rehab department, moving around is huge. We love taking our dogs for on a walk or a hike in the park. And a lot of the clients that I talk to are just like, man, he's really just slowing down. It takes her a while to get up in the morning, or she no longer wants to chase the ball as much, or when she does, she comes back limping. And also just eyesight and hearing, can be something that does go, and they're like, he's just ignoring me, when there really is kind of something going on there. So I always say, go have your dog or cat checked out by the vet first, and then let's do some more education on what they find at the end.
I knew Sparky was aging as a Jack Russell when squirrels would run in front of him, and he just sort of, looked interested, but just said, I'm going to let that go. Yep. So you're talking about movement. You're noticing a slowing down, maybe not hearing as well, not seeing as well. What about appetite? Does that change at all?
It can. It depends, because usually their appetite is pretty normal, unless something underlying is going on. And that's where taking them to your vet to have them checked. Whenever a dog has a decreased appetite, especially if it's over a day or two, I would certainly just check on that. And then one other thing is, you want to keep an eye on their weight for sure, because that can increase as their metabolism slows, or if they hurt themselves, or if they have arthritis. So if that's the case, they'll start gaining more weight, and that's where you need to kind of take action to decide either to decrease the amount of food or even to change their food to a senior diet if you feel that's necessary.
I see. You mentioned arthritis, and I think that's something that is talked about a lot. Like, my doggy has arthritis, hard time going up the stairs, that kind of thing. What can be done about arthritis for your pet?
Oh my gosh, so much. It's just research has come along such a long way over the past 10, 15 years with this. So arthritis is, a disease that just breaks down the joints and the cartilage, and then it causes pain and decreased movement in your dog. And so if you are able to catch it earlier, it's so much better, because you can give them pain medication and supplements to start with to help the joint hopefully decrease the amount of breakdown it does at one time. So it can slow the disease progression is what we're hoping. And then on top of that, there's movement. There's keeping the joint moving, making sure the muscles are nice and strong, because they can get super tight as well when your dog has arthritis and he doesn't want to move around as much. And one of the main things is keep them moving. So making sure there's pain control on board when they need it, and making sure they're moving. I say the one thing about arthritis is it waxes and wanes a lot of the time. They have good days and bad days. And knowing what you can do on a bad day is huge for their quality of life. You could give them a massage, or you can give them a pain pill, whatever you need to do in that instance.
I see. What does a doggy massage look like?
Yeah, so I love doing this with my own animals. I do them to my dogs and cats. My dog is 11 and I have a 9-year-old dog. And then, my 2 cats, Mouse and Bella, are 15 and they just move around a little slower than usual. And some of them have arthritis. So, what you do is you're actually using your hands, your own 2 hands, to manipulate muscles and on your pet, and then you're slowly relaxing their mind as well. So you're not just doing a psychological like relaxation, but you're also doing like a physical relaxing of the muscles and loosening them, because arthritis, when it sets in, can really tighten up those muscles because they don't want to move the joint anymore. So it's actually so relaxing for you as well, because I'm always like in a Zen state while I do it, and my animals just melt into the ground, and
they get this fun look, right? Like they're so blissed out.
Yes.
I have seen that look.
Yes. Absolutely.
So it's rubbing in and around the joint area, like of the hips or of the knees?
Yeah, well, it's actually quite interesting because it's not necessarily where the arthritis is. So if you have a dog with an arthritic knee or an arthritic hip, sometimes the best area you can massage is the shoulder blades, because they're using compensatory muscles, which are muscles that take on more of the weight because they don't want to use that leg as much. So those muscles are actually tighter, and you can massage those muscles out. And I have a lot of people say, well, I massage my dog, and they kind of do a quick 3-second show me how they do it. And it's like, there's definitely more to it than that, just because actually knowing the muscles and where they are and why you're massaging them can be huge. And then also knowing the techniques for when you use a certain technique versus another is just wonderful education to have in your back pocket.
Mm-hmm. Do you use oils like you might on a human?
Nope. Their fur, you usually just go with their fur, and you don't go back the other way. You go with the fur.
Fur.
That's more of a stimulating massage. So if you want a relaxing one, you go with the fur.
Okay, I see. So that sounds really lovely. And who doesn't need to be relaxed right now?
Right.
It sounds like that could be under the list under how do you feel better during COVID? That, do a little puppy massage. No one tells you that, but so that sounds like a wonderful way to feel good for yourself and knowing you're helping your dog.
Yes, absolutely. I have found that owners, if they feel like their dog is feeling better, they feel better. There's a direct correlation, it seems to be, because that connection with your pet is so deep,
Absolutely. So massage is excellent, doesn't cost anything, and it sounds like it can be really helpful. Are there any particular supplements that you recommend?
Sure. I mean, it's always great to talk to your vet and see what they say as well. But I recommend fish oil, because that has been scientifically proven to help with joint health. I give my dogs Movoflex because that has a whole bunch of different ingredients in it that actually target the joint in different ways. And I saw a big improvement in my little mini Australian Shepherd Einstein when I started using it with him. So
that's a great name because they are so smart. Yes. Yeah. Movoflex. Okay. So that's helpful as well. Anything in particular I know that we're sort of getting into some controversial topics here, but do you feed them anything in particular in addition to doing fish oil?
I just feed them Hill's Science Diet.
Okay.
If they get on the chunkier side, I do use Science Diet Mobility, and I think it's healthy weight. So I want to make sure, I think one of the main things you can do is make sure your dog or cat is at a healthy weight, and that will help arthritis so much.
That's good to know, because I find myself, as Sparky is really aging and in fact has a cancer diagnosis, I'm like, oh, you can't do what you used to. Here's another piece of chicken, or here's
Sure.
another piece of cheese, which isn't, I guess, ultimately that helpful for him.
When you think about it, you can certainly give him that piece of cheese if he enjoys it, or the chicken. But when you feed him his regular dinner, take a couple kibble away. Just try to even out those calories that you're giving him.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like a great idea. Hi, listeners. I wanted to introduce you to a podcast that I think you will love. It's called Out There. Here's the trailer, and in one of the new episodes, you will hear yours truly talk about a healing walk through the woods. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Willow Belden, the host of Out There podcast. Over the past almost 7 years, we've been bringing you outdoor stories that help you make sense out of your life and your world. This February, we're launching a new season.
Hello! That's so a bear doesn't get me.
That's Sarah Deely. Growing up, Sarah was not outdoorsy, and she was not athletic.
Once I had to write an apology note to my phys ed teacher because instead of trying to hit the softball that was pitched to me, I screamed and ran away every time.
But at age 20, during a terrible bout of depression, she enrolled in a wilderness therapy program. By the end of the program, Sarah was ready to embrace nature. She didn't want to be an indoor kid anymore. Instead, she envisioned a new version of herself, a rugged outdoors woman.
I could see her so clearly. She was about 70 pounds thinner than me, a tan mountain climber with ripped calves and a well-trained dog. She was someone who had her life together, and that life was wild. She was beautiful.
But when Sarah got back to the real world, she didn't end up becoming that outdoor girl. Turns out, changing who you are isn't that simple. Sarah's story is one of many we'll be sharing with you this season. The episodes will all be the kind of personal, introspective narratives you know and love. But there will be a common theme. The theme is things I thought I knew. Each episode will share a story about an outdoor experience that changed someone's understanding. In some cases, the storytellers gain new understanding about themselves.
I don't have to define myself by negation, saying I'm this, not that.
In some stories, our guests discover new truths about how to rise to the challenges in their lives.
I really felt like, I was this princess. I felt beautiful. And that's not a thing I feel often as a Black woman.
And in one case, we have a storyteller who figures out a new way to do good in the world by tackling a difficult history head-on.
If national parks are America's best idea, and there are deep, painful injustices embedded in their creation, what does that say about America?
To hear all of these stories and many more, follow us on your podcast platform of choice. The season begins February 3rd, and we'll be releasing new episodes every 2 weeks after that through the middle of May. You can find Out There wherever you get your podcasts and at outtherepodcast.com.
So it's tricky. I mean, how do we know? And this I know is a personal kind of thing, but how do we know that they are not enjoying their lives anymore and that we need to start thinking seriously about euthanizing, putting them to sleep?
Yeah, that is a really personal and sad issue. And a lot of people go there quickly because that's what they think of. And, I just lost actually my cat Telly, who was 15, and her sisters are, Bella and Mouse, who are still with me. But she had cancer as well. And it was hard to decide for sure. One of the best things I have found out there to help you decide is you know your dog best and you know what he likes to do. And if you have a jar and have 2 different colored beads or stones, a red stone and a blue stone. And if he has a good day, goes for a walk, he snuggles with you, he nuzzles into your hand, he's eating, put a nice red bead into that jar that's saying he had a good day. Mm-hmm. If he's having not such a good day, not eating, maybe had an accident in the house, is not looking at you, sleeping the whole time, maybe put a blue one into that jar. And, that makes it so you can keep an eye on him throughout the weeks and months to see, that jar's looking really blue, and that can be sort of a way to just keep an eye on it and kind of help you make that decision.
What a great visual. I can imagine also doing like a star on a calendar for a good day. Yeah, that's a great visual. I've just become aware, and maybe everybody knows this, but when you decide that it is time, you can actually have someone come to your home and not go to the vet. Is that something that you've had success with?
Yes, actually, with Telly, they actually did come to my house. And honestly, the 24 hours when I knew I was going to do it were probably the hardest, for sure. But I wanted to do it also because my 8-year-old daughter was so connected to Telly, my cat. And I wanted her to be able to say goodbye. And that was probably the hardest thing as a parent I have ever done in my life. But hindsight, I felt like it was the best thing we could have done for her. And we cried and we talked about it. And I said, what do you want to do to help? And she said, I want to draw her. So she was drawing her the night before and she snuggled her. We slept with her the whole night. And then she said goodbye in the morning. I went to school and we did it around, 11 o'clock. The vet came and the vet was very helpful and a technician came and they did everything right there. And she ate everything. I gave her so much food right at the end and she ate everything. So she at least passed happy.
What a beautiful lesson for your daughter that it's not something to pretend. It's anything but sad what it is, really being able, you have to forgive me, I'm a psychotherapist. Being able to, at that young age, know that she can tolerate all kinds of feelings and that that's what life's about. And you're giving her such a gift.
It didn't feel like it at the time.
I imagine.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But, I got a children's book about it. We talked about it and it was called, I forget the name of it. It was like The Unleash. And it was always that you would have an invisible leash to your pet. So I was able to, you always have this connection, even if your pet is not there. And we talk about her still, I still miss her dearly. And so does Cora, but I go, I miss her too. And we hug it out and we talk about it. So
you hug it out. I love that.
and this grief that I have just ebbs and flows. But I know she's always there and I know, I will feel better, and she will feel better. So this is the hardest thing people say about owning pets.
Oh, sure. I've heard people say I can't go through that again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is kind of sad too, though, in itself, because another pet is out there just waiting for you to love them and give them a wonderful life, if you felt that dearly about your other pet, so.
And it's interesting because it's like I hear people say if they have more than one child, I love them differently. They'll never replace, a new kitty will never replace your, but there's a different kind of love that opens up because they're different.
Yes. And you're busy with them. You're doing other things. So almost your mind is busy as well. So you're not just thinking about losing your other pet all the time,
So maybe this is a question that, is a bit obvious, but I'm so taken by people's relationships with, particularly, I'm a dog person. And I know that there's some, not only, of course, that you're with them all the time, you're caring for them, and there's a bond there. Are you aware of any of the science that talks about why we love our pets so much and why they're so beneficial?
Well, they don't talk back.
That is a plus.
Well, I find that actually there was a study in I think it was in Sweden, that talked about how owning a dog can actually decrease heart disease because you're out walking your dog and you are bonding with your dog. And touch itself, I'm sure, as you know, releases endorphins in your body, like just happy little endorphins. So just having something there with you all the time, especially if you're having a hard time, or even when I'm sick, I snuggle up with my animals and it's like they know. So they're there to they're in tune with you as much as you're in tune with them. And they're just always there for you and there's no judgment and it's just so lovely.
Yeah, that's right. I've read that too. And there's a sense that we only know the half of it, right? How smart and how they know things. They're able to sniff out tumors. They're able to do things that, if I'm understanding and remembering correctly from watching documentaries, that we still don't really understand how they do that.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. They're the certain types of breeds that they use are so intelligent and they just learn. They're like, okay, this smells like this and this smells like this. So, and then they memorize it. The bomb dogs that they have and, the drug dogs. And then also I know they have dogs. I saw a 60 Minutes piece with, children that have seizures and they can be there with them to help them. Or if their blood sugar goes, or if they can actually tell if their blood sugar is getting too low.
That's amazing. And certainly their work with veterans has been profound, and prisoners.
Yeah.
Sort of a bridge back to humanity if you've been wounded psychologically.
Yeah, I feel like owning a pet might just turn on your compassionate side a little more. Like you're there and this little thing is relying on you to keep it healthy and around, but in return, they will be by your side and your best companion. So,
yeah,
that's fascinating.
It really is. I was reading too that one of the reasons they've been so successful as pets is they make eye contact. And so that really speaks to us as humans, I can connect and know you. Whereas most animals are not evolved to do that. So that's a big plus in their favor.
It's funny. That's so interesting. I never really thought of that. But yeah, this morning Einstein was staring at me at the bed, get up, Mom. And then my cats do that too, but I feel like it's a little more judgmental.
Cats have that reputation. Yeah. Oh, that's lovely. You have some materials that help people understand and assist their aging pets. Do you want to talk a little bit about what your offerings are?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So what I started was if pet owners just kind of wanted to dip their toes in what they could do for their senior pet. And these are things that they can do right at home. I have a PDF-free guide that talks about 8 things your senior dog wants you to know. And it's just things around the house that they may want you to do, like making sure they have a supportive arthritic bed is huge because as they age, their muscles break down a little more. So when they're on the floor, it's more, bone to the floor, which is not comfortable.
I see.
And even getting beds around the areas that they like. So even more of a multiple bed. And so an arthritic bed is the one you want to choose. So it gives them that support that they need.
Is it like a memory foam?
Yeah, it can be a memory foam. They have all different types for sure. And then also, one more tip from that one. There's 8 of them, but one more is just if your dog has arthritis or is neurologic and is having trouble moving around your house and you have tile floors or wood floors, slipping can become a huge issue. So even if you put like a yoga mat or a throw rug around the corners or on the bottom of the stairs of where they go, that will help them, give them a little more traction as they move around the house.
What a great idea. Yeah, I've noticed that it's hard to get momentum going up the stairs when it's slippery on the wood floor.
Yes, absolutely. So things like that. And then I have an 8 things your senior cat demands you to know free PDF, because let's all be honest here, senior cats will demand you to know what you need to know. And again, a good cat bed, but also having clean, fresh water for them, even on every floor, is good, because we need to make sure they stay hydrated. And then lowering their litter box, especially with arthritis. If you make their litter box lip a little lower, they might actually use it a little easier, because they don't have to, really flex their joints to get in to use the litter box.
Wow, those are great suggestions. Yeah, I mean, those are the suggestions that just regular people wouldn't have thought of, and that's and they're simple and totally doable.
Yeah, so that's kind of dipping your toe in what you could do around the house to make your dog just a little more comfortable and happy as he goes through his senior years.
That sounds really great. So where can our listeners get your PDF?
Yeah, so they can go to www.theseniorpetmovement.com. I'm also on Facebook and Instagram at The Senior Pet Movement. And then they can always, email me if they have any questions about their own dog or have any questions about my business at theseniorpetmovement@gmail.com.
And do you work with people virtually?
So I did do that for a little while, but I felt courses was the better way to go, because I'm not a vet, so I don't want conflicting information coming from, the two of us. But what I have done is started making courses, and I have this wonderful, easy to follow senior dog and cat massage workshop where in this course, it's so easy to follow, and you'll gain complete confidence that you are the one to relieve the anxiety and muscle tension throughout your pet's whole body.
I love that. It just seems like it would have so many positive ripple effects
I know.
on the whole family.
I know. It's just giving you the power to be able to help your dog if they're having a bad day right then and there with your own 2 hands. And it just gives you all the tips and techniques, and shows you each muscle but it's easy to follow because I'm right with you the whole way. So it's a wonderful tool to have. And I honestly, I do it to every animal I see now. I don't even realize I'm starting to massage their spinal muscles or something. One quick story, I took my kids to a petting zoo, and I started massaging this goats.
I thought you were going to say that.
Muscles.
I was waiting for that.
And then he started following me around the petting zoo the rest of the time.
I had this vision that you were going to say you went to goat yoga, and instead of doing yoga, you were massaging the goats.
They're all lined up.
Oh, wow. Oh, what a lovely thing in so many ways.
It was pretty funny.
So, Megan Weaver, thank you so much for your time. And you can find out more at seniorpetmovement.com. Really appreciate your talking to us today.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been wonderful.
Thank you so much for joining us on Zestful Aging. If you like the podcast, please share it with some of your friends. I love to hear from my listeners. Send me an email at NicoleChristina.com. It's no secret that everyone's feeling pretty restless and unsettled right now. Our lives are upside down and the future is feeling pretty uncertain. But if you're anything like me, organizing my stuff can help me feel a little calmer. It's something I can do to help me feel a little more in control and in charge of my own life. If you think decluttering could help you feel better and you could use a little assistance with that, check out the online course I've developed with professional organizer and designer Carrie Luderin. It's called Too Much Stuff. And Too Much Stuff is different from other courses or articles or guidance you may have used up. We give you clear steps to deal with the clutter and the tools to help you face the overwhelming feelings and the emotions that come up when we're going through our clutter. And a lot of those emotions are just feeling anxious or guilty or just basically flooded with a lot of different confusing feelings. The course is really practical. It's realistic. The lessons are short and punchy, and they're really manageable. We're not trying to set you up for some long exploratory, super in-depth, burdensome experience. We want something really helpful for you right now. We all need help with our anxiety. So being surrounded by more calm and less chaos can really help. So now's a good time to clear out the clutter so we can focus on what's really important in our lives. So find out more at zestfulaging.com. You'll see more about this under the web courses tab. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email at zestfulaging@gmail.com. Thanks so much. And stay tuned next week for another interview with a fascinating and inspiring guest.